Keeping up with our motto, let learning be a joy and teaching a pleasure. Here we are with remote teaching and learning process to bridge the gap. Happy learning, students. Here Mrs. Sonal Shah Doshi from Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College teaching you all geography today for grade 6, chapter 5, temperature. Today we are going to learn part 2. But before we go ahead, let's revise what we have done in this chapter till now. We have seen that sun rays coming towards the earth travel in straight lines. However, as the earth is spherical in shape, these rays are not perpendicular means straight to all the parts of on the earth's surface. Towards the poles, these rays are extremely slant, while towards middle part these are straight. So on some parts they are slanting, while to the poles they are extremely slant. We have also seen this by this experiment that parallel rays of the radiation from the sun fall straight towards the equator and fall slant towards the poles. So when they are slanted, they occupies more space, and when they are straight, they occupies the less space as shown in the image. You can see when the rays fall straight like shown as arrow A, that occupies the less space, while arrow C occupies the more space. So we have learned that according to how rays are falling on the surface of the earth, we have divided the zones into three parts on the earth, that is torrid zone, temperate zone and polar zone. Torrid zone is the zone where the rays falls extremely straight, that is equator to 23.5 degree north and equator to 23.5 degree south. We can see in the picture that rays fall slant after this degree, that is called temperate zone, that is 23.5 degree north to 66.5 degree north and 23.5 degree south to 66.5 degree south. And when the rays fall extremely slant, they hardly reaches to the earth's surface. That zone is called polar zone or cold zone, that is 66.5 degree north to north pole and 66.5 degree south to south pole. So based on this, earth is divided into three types of climatic zone, that is torrid zone, temperate zone and polar zone, or warm zone, moderate zone and cold zone. Now today we are going to learn factors influencing the distribution of temperature on the earth other than latitude. We have seen that according to the latitude, the earth's surface divided into three zones, that is torrid zone, temperate zone and cold zone. Which are the other factors that influence the distribution of temperature on the earth? We have seen latitude, how the sun rays fall on the surface of the earth and according to which we divided the zones. Second one is altitude. As you go higher from the earth's surface, the air becomes cooler. So altitude, as you go high, the temperature goes down and vice versa. There is inverse relationship between altitude, that is height, and the temperature. The third factor is distance from the sea. When you are near to the sea, as the water becomes cool very slowly, same way it becomes hot very slowly as compared to the continental area, or you can say land area. So if the distance is near to the sea, the temperature remains moderate, means it is average, it will not go to the extreme. But as you see the continental area, land area, then the temperature is extreme as land gets heated up very fast and cools down very fast. So the continental area is very hot during the day and very cold during the night. So distance from the sea matters and continentality, as I told you. The other factors which are apart from these four factors are winds, cloud cover, vegetation cover, urbanization and industrialization. These factors also affect the temperature on the earth. If the wind blows strongly, the temperature becomes cool and vice versa. If clouds are more, the temperature becomes cool because sun rays cannot reach directly on the earth's surface and vice versa. If there is urbanization, urban area is there, due to the polluted gas, the air becomes more hot and the temperature rises up. And industrialization, same effect. When there are more industries, the air gets polluted very faster and temperature becomes hot. So these are the factors influencing distribution of the temperature on the earth: latitude, altitude, distance from the sea and continentality, while other factors are winds, cloud cover, vegetation cover, urbanization and industrialization. So here I have explained it. As you go towards the higher altitude, the temperature becomes lower and vice versa. You can see there is minus 40 degree Fahrenheit at 30,000 feet height, and at 10,000 feet of height there is 40 degree Fahrenheit, that is temperature in the atmosphere. Here I have shown you distance from the sea. So as I told you, water gets cooled up very slowly and warms up very slowly. So the air remains moderate, temperature remains moderate. It is not so hot during the day. It is warm in the day and cool in the night. While in continental area, you can see over here that if the continent is covered by land everywhere, the land heats up fast and cools down fast, so that the temperature becomes extreme. The temperature is very hot during the day and very cold during the night. So here we have explained you the temperature, relationship of temperature and continentality. As I told you, the difference in the maximum and minimum temperatures of a day is called range of temperature. If the maximum temperature of today is 36 degree and minimum is 31 degree, then the range of temperature is 36 degree minus 31 degree, that is 4 degree Celsius. You must have realized that the land cools down earlier than the water. You have seen in sand area which are covered with sand like Rajasthan. So there sand heats up fast and cools down fast. You must have even touched the pot. In winter season the pot is cooling faster because it is made up of sand, while water inside is cools down very fast due to that sand. If the water is in a steel vessel, it is not so cool as it is in the pot. So the water kept outside in the sun is still little warm due to this difference in the heating and cooling of land and water. The air over the land gets heated faster and also becomes cooler rapidly. The air over the water gets heated slowly and also loses the heat in slower manner, as I told you that water gets heat water gets heated slower than the land. So in the coastal areas as compared to the continental areas, the temperature of air is lower during the day but warmer at night. Contrary to this, the temperature of air in the continental areas is higher during daytime and lower at night. This I had explained you. In the coastal areas, because of heating of seawater, the water vapor gets mixed in the air. This water vapor holds the heat in the air, and as a result, the air in the coastal areas remains moist and warm. So why Mumbai is moist? Because Mumbai is near to the sea, Arabian Sea, and the vapor of the sea water remains in the air, and that's why the air of Mumbai is moist air, while air of Rajasthan is dry, not moist. You will not perspire. So the conditions in the continental areas are the opposite. As water vapor is absent, the air remains dry. This leads to sharp differences in the day and night temperatures. In short, the difference in the day and night temperatures is less in the coastal areas and more in the continental areas. Going little ahead, do one experiment first. But that experiment should be under the strict observation of your parent. You have to take a tray full of water and you have to put it on the table as shown in the picture. And then what you have to do, when the water becomes still, put some plastic sequences in them. They starts flowing, and then when they become still, light a spirit lamp below the one corner of a tray. What happens you observe and write down your conclusions. Now we conclude that as the temperature of water increases, the plastic sequence start moving from one place to another. Why? Because as the temperature rises, the density of water gets affected. Density means how it becomes light or heavy. So the lighter water replaces the heavier water, like cool water replaces the hot water. And during this process, the lighter water replaces the cool water, so water flow happens. So because of this flow, the sequence start moving from one place to another. So due to the temperature, there is a flow of a water. The cool water replaces the hot water, and that's why water flow is there. The same way on the earth's surface, there is a water flow in the ocean, flow of water, that is known as ocean currents. So the term current describes the motion of the ocean, and the ocean current is continuous directed movement of sea water generated by number of forces acting upon water. Which forces we have seen in the experiment? Temperature. As the temperature increases, the water starts moving. Why? Due to the density of the water changes. So which forces act upon the water? Temperature, density and winds. Now we will see in the next session that how ocean currents and temperatures are related to each other. Thank you all.